And when the camera turned on, or when the monitor turned on, I guessed, because after I filmed the video trying out the new Jones Road foundation, a lot of people were telling me that I needed to try the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. I don't think this is supposed to be a dupe necessarily. I mean, I guess we'll find out. I mean, the packaging is similar, but this texture already looks different in the pan. It's more of a balm. It looks really interesting, but people are really enjoying this. So I thought it'd be fun to try it out. So I actually grabbed two shades, Fair 10 and Fair 20, and honestly, they look a little bit deeper in the pan. And so I'm interested to see how it ends up, you know, applying on the face. But I tried to find out some information on L'Oreal's website about this. So basically, it's a lightweight foundation. It has 4 unique benefits. It's supposed to firm over time, smooth lines, conceal imperfections, and even skin tone. So it's like a skincare makeup hybrid, similar to the Jones Road product. This is available in 8 shades. It doesn't say how much coverage this gives. It's $16.99, but you guys know how drugstore prices vary depending on where you're shopping. It's supposed to have a radiant finish, it's supposed to be suitable for sensitive skin, and it's non-comedogenic, which means it should not clog your pores. This has 0 claims as far as longevity, so I will do a wear test just to see how many hours I get out of this tonight. But let's go ahead and try it out. I figured before I put it on my face, I should probably, whoa. Okay, I'm dipping into it just to see the shades on the back of my hand. So I'm gonna start off with the shade 10. It has very sheer coverage. Pretty much blends into my hands. You can kind of see the undertone is a little bit warmer. It's actually a little bit deeper than my skin tone. So now I'm gonna try out Fair 20. Oh, the texture is so interesting. This one is definitely more on the pink side. I'm probably gonna play it safe and go with the more yellow undertone, which is not even very yellow. It's still a very neutral shade, but I'm just gonna go with this. I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to apply this. Let me see if it says on the website. Oh, it says for best results, blend into skin with fingertips. Build coverage as desired. I might try to put a brush in it first, just to initially kind of get it on the complexion. Okay, so by the way, I'm using the shade 10, which was the lightest shade. I actually think it's applying pretty well with a brush, so I'm just gonna keep buffing it out. It's offering more coverage than I initially thought it would, but it's very much a skincare infused product. So I'm gonna take my fingers and kind of use my fingertips to really spread out the rest. Okay, I do feel like this shade works for me. The undertone isn't like perfect, but that's okay. I'm gonna take a little bit more and apply some to the forehead just to cancel out a bit of redness there. I didn't prep my skin with anything. Maybe I should have, but I figured since this had skincare benefits, I wouldn't. Okay, let's take a closer look at this. Okay, there's things I'm already liking and things I'm already not liking about this. So the coverage I think looks very natural. I still think it looks like skin. It's not too balmy of a product where the Jones Road foundation feels like a super heavy moisturizer. So it definitely, like, you can feel it on the skin, if that makes sense. This definitely does not have a super emollient texture to it. The finish is very skin-like, so not too dewy, not too matte. It blended in really well in some areas of my skin, and in others, it's emphasizing dryness that I did not even know I had. Specifically around the chin and jawline for me. A little on the tip of the nose as well. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. It's kind of interesting that it only picked a couple of places to really emphasize dryness. And everywhere else looks nice. That's why I'm wondering maybe I should have prepped it with a moisturizer or hydrating primer. But again, I didn't want to like mess with it too much since I am just trying to figure out how the foundation wears. But overall and from far away, I like the finish and the coverage. I'm going to take my NYX concealer and I'm gonna brighten up the under eyes with this. Actually, I'm just gonna quickly do the rest of my makeup so that we can get to a wear test. I am going to apply concealer on top of my blemishes right here that I have going on. Actually, maybe I should try to build up the serum just to see if I can get more coverage. It looks like it does work if I wanted to kind of build up more coverage in certain areas. It doesn't give full coverage, but you can definitely build it up, which is nice. Okay, let me just finish up my makeup. I will of course have everything that I'm using listed and linked down below. and then we'll get to a wear test. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so I went a little more colorful with my makeup than I was initially anticipating, but it's fine. It's very summery. So we're gonna do a wear test. I will say everything applied on top really nicely. I used my setting powder, I used powder bronzer and blush. I skipped the highlight and I skipped the setting spray because I really like to see how the finish is by the end of the night. So this is what we're working with. I feel like it gives really nice coverage over redness, not so much over full-on blemishes. So I wouldn't say it's like gonna cover up anything major, but it will even out skin tone. The entire L'Oreal Age Perfect line is obviously geared toward more mature skin. So more mature skin typically is not dealing with, you know, acne breakouts. It's more gonna be redness or maybe other texture. But overall, I think it's just supposed to kind of look like your skin, but better. So let's go ahead and do a wear test. I'm actually starting this a little bit later in the evening because I just barely bought this afternoon. And again, this doesn't have like a wear claim. It doesn't say that it's long wearing whatsoever. I personally already feel like it's more of a, you know, everyday foundation, not something that you would wear on special occasions, or at least not for like hours and hours on end. So it's currently 7:23 p.m., which is later for a wear test, but I am a night owl, so I'll get quite a bit of a wear test out of it tonight. I'm so curious to see how this ends up working. I would say so far, if I'm thinking about the Jones Road Foundation as well, this is definitely geared more toward dry skin types. This one, on the other hand, is more normal. I'm not sure if I can say oily yet, but the fact that it's kind of a little more on the drying side around my dry patches, where this one really just is so hydrating that you didn't see any of that. So similar concept, different finishes, and we'll see how it wears. So I'll see you guys in a little bit for my check-in at the end of the night to see how everything held up. I'm seriously so interested to see how this goes because people are really loving this. I've seen Shelby Wilson talk about it and really enjoy it. I've also seen Mr. Johnny Ross on TikTok really enjoy it. So I'm excited to see what my thoughts are. So I'll see you guys in a bit to figure out how this wears. Okay, it is currently 2:26 in the morning, so I have been wearing this for 7 hours. And when the camera turned on, or when the monitor turned on, I guessed, because it's looking a little bit more dewy than what I like, especially on my nose. But let me look up close, okay? It's not terrible, but it's definitely not my favorite. I would not say that this is supposed to be a long wear foundation. Even though it started out less dewy than the Jones Road one, it's ending up being pretty shiny, as you can see, after just 7 hours of wear. So as you guys know, I do like to touch up my foundations just to see what it would look like if I were to have touched it up throughout the day, like I normally do. But I like to see how the foundation wears by itself without interfering with touch-ups or anything. But yeah, I feel like everything is looking pretty expired at this point. So let's go ahead and actually it looks pretty good right here. I think it's just my nose that I'm not really loving how shiny that got, but it's so typical for me. I get oily in the T-zone throughout the day, so let me just powder the T-zone just to see what would happen. I also wanted to point out, and I forgot to mention this while I was trying on the foundation, that it doesn't have a fragrance. No, which is so nice because that is something that kind of, it wasn't a deal breaker, but you know, it's just something that did happen with the Jones Road one. Now the fragrance wasn't as intense or as terrible as some people made it out to be. I didn't mind the scent, but I prefer not having any fragrance in my complexion products if I can help it. Okay, so I powdered it. It doesn't look that bad, but it's not amazing at the same time. So, yeah, and I feel like sometimes when products cling around dry patches, just depending on the formula, like sometimes it can actually smooth over a little bit as the day goes on. That was not the case with this. The dry patches that it clung to stayed looking the same throughout the day. So for me, you know, I'm not obsessed with it. I definitely think the Jones Road one looked better, even though it is a different formula. And it's kind of more messy. So I do like the texture of the L'Oreal one as far as like putting a brush in it. It's just easier to apply since it's not gonna slide everywhere and it's not as loose as the Jones Road one, which maybe I'll show you so you can see, if you didn't see that video, how insanely messy this is. Look at this one. So this is much more of like a loose cream balm based formula. I shouldn't even say balm. This is more of like a solid texture, which is nice. But I would still prefer this, even though the price point is completely different. I think that this one performs a little bit better. If you're looking for something like that. Now, if you're just looking for something to quickly sheer out on the skin, I think that you may like this unless you have drier patches on the skin, then it did cling to it, so just keep that in mind. I will have to try this after prepping the skin a little bit better, since again, I did not use a primer or like a heavier moisturizer today because I really wanted to see how this held up. But to me, there are better foundations at the drugstore. There are better tinted moisturizer products. My personal favorite tinted moisturizer is the ColourPop one, or even the L'Oreal tinted serum is really amazing. So there's so many other options at the drugstore that really perform well. And even though there was things that I liked about this, I can't say that it was my favorite, and I don't think I will be reaching for it a ton. However, since so many people really do enjoy this, if you're one of those people, I would love to hear in the comments what your skin type is, why it works for you, and maybe like how you apply it. Because I think we can all learn from each other, and I think it's really fun to, you know, hear from people like you guys who may really enjoy a product like this. Maybe if you have more mature skin and you've tried this, maybe it will be something you'll really enjoy. So leave a comment down below if you have tried this out and if you do enjoy it. Or if it didn't work for you, I would love to hear from you as well. So let me know in the comments. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. Let me know in the comments if there's another foundation that you would like for me to try next. I love trying out foundations, so I would love to hear from you. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!